Hey and welcome back. Now it's time for us to add our first device manually into the monitoring system here, the PRTG monitoring system. We've had a couple picked up already through the probe, through the auto discovery, but now it's time for us to add our first one. So what I've got is a Cisco Catalyst 2960X switch. So it's a 48 port switch, and what we're going to be doing is we're going to be setting up SNMP on the switch, and then we're going to be tying it into our PRTG network monitoring system for it to start monitoring everything we need and alerting us if there's any problems with that switch. So to start off, I have SSH'd in. We've gone into the enable mode. Now we're going to jump into the configure terminal mode. Next up, we're going to set up SNMP. So for this, we're going to be setting up SNMP version 2C. So that's with a community. So the way that we do that is SNMP server community. Then we have to specify the community string, which in this case, I'm just going to do as Dan Mill training. And lastly, we have to specify if we want read-only access or read-write. We want read-only. So there we go. We've now specified the SNMP string there. There's a couple other commands that we can do. So if we do SNMP-server and then do a question mark, you can see just how much configuration we can do on these switches. So we can set up traps. We can set up, if we're setting up version 3, we can set up users and groups. There's some details around setting up contact and everything. But for now, we're fine with just setting up the community. And what we're going to also do is we're going to enable traps as well. And that's it. So we'll end that. We'll do a copy running config to the startup config. So that's saving our configuration. And that's pretty much it. Now we need to add the device into PRTG. So now that we've got SNMP set up, we need to add in here. So what we'll do is under network infrastructure, I'm going to create a group and I'm going to call the group switching. Okay, now if we wanted to, we could go up and we could go and set all the SNMP devices to be inherited from a global level, or we could specify them. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this all configured by default, and we're just going to do it on a per device basis. So for now, I will click OK. So here you can see we've now got a group called switching. We're going to add a device. The device name is DMT switch 01. We're going to use IPv version 4. And we're going to specify the IP address. You can also use the DNS name. You can set up tags. We're not going to bother. We've got additional device information. So here you can see all the little symbols. So in this case, I'm going to tick the Cisco symbol to show next to it. We're not going to set up auto discovery. We're going to do all this manually. And then we're going to go to SNMP devices, untick inherit. Say that we're using SNMP version 2C, put in our community string, which is Dan Mill training. It's using SNMP port 161, UDP port 161, which is correct, and a timeout of 5 seconds. So again, you can configure this at the top level and then set everything to be the exact same. So if you set SNMP at the top level, you can set all your switches to this community string and it will automatically go out. But for the sake of this demo, I want to show you how to do it manually. The rest we can just leave as tick, that's fine, and we will click OK. So now we've got that switch in there. For the sake of this demonstration, what I'll now do is run auto discovery. Okay, so it's going to run out and it's going to pick up all the best recommended MIBs to monitor on the switch and all the best recommended sensors. So we'll click that. I'll fast forward the video a little bit until it's picked up everything, and then we'll take a look at what it's done. Now, what I could have done is I could have gone and added everything manually, and we'll probably do that in a later lecture. I'll show you how to add sensors manually, but for now, we'll run the auto discovery. It's going to check to make sure that switch is accessible via the SNMP settings we've configured and start picking up the sensors. Alright, we are back, and as we can see, DMT switch 01 has already gone out and done the auto discovery, and it's picked up a whole bunch of sensors. So we've got details like what the average ping is to it from this probe. It's monitoring the VLAN 1 traffic and the traffic on an interface that's currently plugged in. We have some details on the SSL certificate, so it's currently not configured. That's why it's giving us an alert there. We've got the uptime, so it's showing 18 minutes, the system CPU percentage, health of the fans, health of the memory. So if we click on one of these, what we'll get is more details on it. So it's going to show you a little bit of a graph here. You can click into the live data and it's going to show you over a specified period. So one of the coolest parts about network monitoring is the ability to do historical graphing. So you can see a system over time, and that way you can determine if there are any problems with it over time in comparison to the history. If we go back again, we can also have the option to add a sensor. We'll probably play around with that a little bit later on in one of the further lectures, but for now, the auto discovery has picked up absolutely everything that we need in regards to this switch. So what I'm going to go do is I'm going to go and disconnect the port that connects this switch up to the firewall, and we're going to see all of these suddenly turn off and start alerting us about the issues happening on that switch. So we are back, and as you can see, we now have a red alert when it comes to switch 01. So I've disconnected it from the firewall, and as you can see now, the ping is showing that it's got an alarm. So if we click on that, we're going to see that no data is being returned from the SNMP agent. If we go back to live data, we can see what the average ping time was over the last couple of minutes while that switch has been monitoring, and now we're getting it all the way up to 100%, essentially saying that the switch is down. So in this case, we are now getting emails to the specified email address saying that that switch is down. So in a real life environment, an engineer would pick up that ticket and begin investigating the switch being down. So it really goes to show just how easy a network monitor is to set up. You know, on the Cisco switch, it was just a couple of commands, and then in the PRTG itself, it was really just running the auto discovery from the probe device and getting it all configured there. So now we've seen a switch configuration. Next up, we're going to take a look at a few more network devices before diving into some servers as well. So I'll go ahead and see you there.